So we were just talking about adjusting F curves for motion. And so if we, well, we'll just do a cube here and just apply a basic animation to it. We'll just move it way back here, keyframe, move forward, and move it up here. Keyframe. Okay, so here's our motion. Slow in, gets faster, slow out. So if we preview that motion in the F curve, okay, you've got this big curve. And the way that it works is it has more constant speed when the line is straight. And when it's transitioning to a more flatter curve, then it's going to be going slow. So you can kind of see the height is the distance, and the curve is kind of the velocity. So if we play this through, sorry, I'm moving this around so much. Let's scale it down so we can see. If we play this, you can watch it slow, goes fast, and slows down again, right? Now we could exaggerate that, slow in, slow out, by moving these handlebars. Oops. Let's go back here. Moving these handlebars in so that that arc is much steeper, right? Let's move this out so we can see. And this one, this is much steeper. Then we're going to have slow, fast, and slow, right? So that you can definitely control how things are moving based on that. And the timeline viewport is just like the viewport. You can zoom in, zoom out. Now, if I wanted a constant motion, though, I would click on linear, which is just going to create a straight line. So it's going to just follow that through same speed. And what it does is, if you look at it this way, it's equidistant between keyframes. So there's equal amount of space between each one of those keyframes. So it's a constant motion, a constant speed. And then if we just go back, you can see the difference. There's tons of keyframes at the end. They're close together and they're far apart in the middle, which means it's going faster. So it's covering more distance that way. So that's, you can do a lot of tweaking and controlling based on using these F curves. And ultimately, because we only move the cube along the Z, that's the only F curve we're using. If we had a more complex motion, you would see position on X, Y, and Z. You may also see scale and rotation. So you can really kind of hone it down to control each one of those individually. So, and the last thing I'll talk about with this is, just get rid of the cube here, is this is important when we're thinking about, something like rotation. So if we have an object and we keyframe it here, and then we move to the end and we rotate it. Let's just rotate this 360, or actually we'll rotate it 359 because we're getting one more keyframe out of it. All right. Okay, so now we have this thing spinning. It does one whole revolution. And if we preview this in the F curves, we should see the rotation of H is what we're doing here, right? So this is our constant speed, and you'll notice that if we're watching it as a loop, it slows down, it speeds up, it slows down. So it's not, this would be a loop, but it's not a continuous motion. So again, with that, if we change this to the linear system, it's just going to be constant speed, not slowing down at all, just a continual rotation all the way around. So if you're doing a loop and you want something to really look like it's continuing to spin, you want to make sure you change that F curve to that linear system so it stays a constant speed.